Hey team, it's the presenter here, as you've probably guessed, because it's only ever me that does these films. So it looks like we're going to have to get back onto the old word bandwagon. So let's have a look at a few new tricks and have some fun. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so I've got this Word document already open, and that's just so that we can just have a play with it essentially. So we're going to have a look at different ways that you can format the display features, okay? So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some page numbers on here. Alright, we can see that there's no page numbers yet. That's easy. You just hit insert, page number. Now you're going to see that you've got a whole wide range of options to play with. Do you want your number at the top of the page? Do you want it at the top on the left, in the middle, on the right? So just have a play with this, because there's a whole bunch of different options that you can have a look at doing. I usually just go for something nice and simple. So I might go top right, nice and easy. So you can see that pops the number in our header here. And then we can just close it. We see 1. Scroll down, 2. So that's quite a cool feature. And you can also do it so that you can remove page numbers, but by just playing around with it a little bit, you can actually do it so if the first page is a cover page, you can actually have it so that the number isn't displayed on the first page. That's pretty handy. Now let's have a look at breaks. Breaks aren't something that we've really gotten into at all so far. Sorry about that sneeze. I'll look at cutting that out, depending on how much time I have. Breaks are pretty cool. It distinguishes, if it's a section break, this section from this section. And so you can give different rules or different formatting options for each section. I usually, if I'm going to do a break, have the break in between the pages. Here, I'll show you what I mean. If we go page layout, break, this is where you're going to do your breaks, okay? So I'm going to do a section break here. So let's say next page. Bang. Now what happened with that, it doesn't look like a lot, but now my document is saying, okay, this page is different from this page. How am I going to show you that? Well, I'm going to go into orientation and I'm going to go landscape. You can see how this page stayed portrait and how the bottom page went on to landscape. That is actually really handy in a lot of situations. That means that you could have document, portrait, just like that, and then on the next page you could have a graph or a picture of your favourite cat, something like that. And then you throw in another page break down the bottom here. So let's go next page, and then this you can pop back up into portrait. So portrait, landscape, portrait. I think that's pretty cool, and I'm pretty sure you'll agree. So we know all about the margins, changing margins, that's easy. We know how to play with the size. We know how to insert columns. Let's put that 2 columns. Doesn't really look all that great because we've got all these squares here. But we've got 2 columns now. We've learnt about breaks, hyphenation. Let's go automatic hyphenation. So with hyphenation, when one word sort of goes into the second line, you get a little hyphen. It's quite cool. Watermarks you don't really need to have a knowledge about, but you can put watermarks on. So let's turn this text into confidential. You can see confidential just in the background there. That's quite cool. Page color, page borders, indents. Let's say we're going to indent it. That's just doing sort of like a manual tab. Spacing we know a little bit about already. We've played with spacing before. So page layout's really easy to do, guys. It's really just about having a look and a play about what the layout of our page is. Let's actually go back to headers and footers. I want to put in a header. I go insert header, and then I have a look at what type of header I want it to be. So you could have 3 columns. So this one you would say put your name, module and the date. Or you could have the line with some text over top. Or you could just do a simple one with just the one bit of text in the left. Let's do that, eh? So I'm going to write header is here. Now, this brings up a whole slew. It's a good word, you should use it often. Slew. It means lots. There's a whole slew of different options now that has opened for us. We can change the position of the header from bottom, header from top. Do you see that's moving our text? We can do different on different pages, so you can have a different header on the odd versus even pages, or you could just have a different header for the first page. You can put in pictures, date and the time. Here's another option for page numbers. And essentially it is the same for the footer. So you pick the footer that you want. This is a footer. And we've got all of the same options again, guys. So if you're ever going to put in a header and a footer, there's a lot of things that you can play with. Another part of formatting is changing your font. We know a lot about how to change font already. So we can change the size, underline it. The use of lines can be a very powerful thing. So let's say I want this to stand out as my title. I've already underlined it. Make it big. Center it. Control E. We know how to do that. Now it really stands out, and the use of the line is a big part of that. Boxes can be pretty handy. Okay, we can see that I've already got a few boxes here. I'm going to drag this one up to this page here. Boxes can be pretty handy. With this document, what I'd done with the boxes is I'd use them as placeholders. So I knew, or you guys knew, which picture to put in that box. You can also use boxes to show that text is important. If it comes up blank like that, it might mean that you just need to make the text black. So if text is in a box, it shows some level of importance to that text. So it's not a bad idea if you're writing a document and you have one bit of text that's really important, throw it in a box. Why not? You only live once, you know, YOLO. Borders, we've had a look at before. Borders are easy. All we have to do for borders is page layout, page borders. And we can play from here essentially. Do we want it as a box? Do we want a 3D one? Let's say 3D orange, width 6 point. Okay. Now we have our border. Sussed. This document is looking just awful at this stage, eh? Like, I have butchered this thing. But it's all in the names of science. No, it's not. It's just for learning. Okay. Alignment we've played with. Alignment. Let's play with this. Left aligned. It aligns to the left. Right aligned. It aligns to the right side of the document. Center aligned. That's how you do that. If you want your text justified, just go home and justify it. Okay? This is also where you can left and right align things, center align, if you don't want to use your keyboard shortcut. Okay, we've played with columns. Bullets and numbering we know how to do. Okay? We've played with bullets and numbering before. You just hit bullets and you can change the different types of bullets that you want. Or you can make them numbers, Roman numerals. You can have levels of bullets. Okay, so if you're bullet pointing something, and then within that list, you want to bullet point something else as an under bullet point thing. This is how you do that. And that's just bullet pointing levels, right? I tend to try and stay away from that because it makes your document look a little messy. Alright, I'm going to bring up another document, so I'm just going to cut until that stage, alright? I'll see you in the next shot. Alright. We're also going to have to learn how to work with templates, okay? Now, a template is essentially just a pre-made document that you can change. So for this film here, this document is my template, okay? So when I opened it, this text was already here, okay? Now, what I'm going to have to do is I follow my instructions, and my instructions are saying just copy some text over. So I would go Control C from this document and put it into my template as instructed. And then maybe I have to left align it and change the font to Open Dyslexic. Okay? Make it 12. Essentially, that's how you use a template, is you just follow the instructions. Open up the pre-made document and insert or copy and paste over what you're being told to copy and paste over. Easy. You might have to create a mail merge, guys. Okay? We've run mail merges before, but creating a mail merge is something completely different. And honestly, it's not hard. Okay? So what we want to do is go mailings, select recipients, okay? And from here we can just type in a new list. Okay? So let's say our recipients are people, our entries are people. So we can type in a first name, Brock, last name, Strongo, company name, Capital Training. Okay? If I didn't want a title, I just go delete entry. Oh no, that's how you delete the entire line, guys. Okay, customize columns. Here we go. So let's say we don't need title, delete. We don't need address or any of these. We just delete them as we go, okay? So we type in our name, Rock, Strongo, from Capital Training. And then we go new entry to write in someone new. We go, Vin Weasel from Hollywood. Okay? And then we can just keep putting in new entries, alright? Until we've got enough that we need. And then you just hit OK. Now this is tricky, okay? When it comes up with this, the document is saying, hey, where should I save this folder? Where should I save this database? Save it in the same place as you have put your Word document, okay? Put it in that same folder that your Word document is in. And keep the two together, alright? It's going to make it a lot easier to mark that way. So I'm just going to put it in my documents folder, call it test. Okay, and that's it. I've created a mail merge, and then from there, it's just the same as running one. You go start mail merge, step by step, okay? We select a different list, and we go through, and we find the database that we created. It's going to have a little key here, okay? And then we see the recipients, the list that we made, okay? And then you can hit next, and this is where you're going to put in your fields, okay? So I've popped in my fields here, first name, last name, company name, preview the letters. So we can see that data that I put in is now reflected in the mail merge, okay? And then, just like before, finish and merge, and it opens up the new merged documents. Sweet, so then there's Vin Weasel. And we still have our original document, which is pretty neat. So that's nice and easy. That's how you create a mail merge, alright? We cut there. I was just having a look at my script and seeing what we needed to have a look at next. Sorry about that. But let's move on, okay? Let's have a look at how to make tables. A table, we know the basics of it. Insert, table, done. Okay? We know how to go into layout and merge cells, or split cells, or split the table in half even. We know how to insert new lines. We just hit insert below and it comes up with new bits for our table. Okay? We know how to make a heading. Yeah? Let's center that. We'll make it bold, a bit bigger. That's a nice heading. We can do multi-line headings. So we've got a heading and then a subheading. Okay? So the heading And then the subheading might give us a little bit more information about what the table's about. So let's say it's we're working at a furniture shop. Okay, so tables purchased. So we know the table's about tables purchased, and the subheading could be September 2011. So we've used two headings to give a fair amount of information. That's not a bad way of living life, is it? So we know that we can change the column widths to match our needs, right? That's easy. We know that we can play around with the design. We can go borders and shading. Let's say we get rid of the center lines. Now we've got this column here with no ruled lines. Why would you do this? Well, it's really just a visual thing. It's making your table look a little different, okay? It stands out. Now, as opposed to if we had just merged these cells, that would create just one big cell. By going through and hitting borders and shading, and then clicking this line here, they're still individual cells, okay? So they still act as their own cells, even though you can't see the line's still there. So that's pretty cool. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert some data into this table, just to show you something real cool, okay? Alright, so what I've done is I've quickly typed in just a list of North Island towns, okay? We've got Tokoroa, Patararu, Waihi, Ngaruawahia, Huntly, Pokeno, Kapiti, Pairoa, and Morrinsville, okay? Now, let's say I wanted to sort this table alphabetically, okay? I'm in Table Tools, in the layout, and I just hit Sort. And then here, this brings up a cool little table, okay? So it's saying sort by column 1, text, okay? We go ascending or descending. We can say sort by number, date. What it's also saying, then by and then by, is if we had two bits of data in column 1 that were the same, okay? So let's say we had two Tokoroas, then we could sort them by the next column over here. So if these were dates with different dates, we could say, okay, if you can't sort it by by column 1, sort it by column 2. You're not going to have to worry about that, okay? And then we're going to hit OK. Now you can see that our table is now alphabetical. That's pretty cool, I reckon. Starts off in Huntly, ends up in Waihi. That's how you sort a table. Easy as. Alright? So now, you've learnt a few more skills about how to play with Microsoft Word. Alright, we've learnt a few of the formatting options. We've played with how to make a mail merge. not just run one, but make the list that you use. We've also had a look at tables and sorting, okay? So go out, give it a shot, and above all, have fun.